From the station putting local first, this is KTSM 9 News Today.
It's important to know that emotions are very high here. There are a lot of people, not just officers, but family members who are still arriving and still learning about this incident. This occurred after many went to bed, and some were just now waking up to this.
Heartbreaking news. What you may have missed overnight, a deadly shooting incident at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News Today. I'm Jay Russell.
And I'm Susie Castillo. Indianapolis police say at least 9 people, including the gunman, died in that shooting late Thursday night. The shooter has not yet been identified. Police say the shooter killed himself at the facility. 8 people were shot and killed. Officials say at least 4 people were hospitalized, including a person with critical injuries. 2 others were treated at the scene and released. No law enforcement officers have been injured. Detectives are still working to determine a motive or the cause for the shooting.
It is 6 o'clock. Moving on to our coronavirus coverage. A third dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine will likely be needed within a year. Pfizer CEO made the comments during an event with CVS health officials that was taped on April 1st, but that was made public, adding that people will likely need a booster shot within 12 months to get in fully vaccinated. Pfizer announced earlier this month that the data from more than 12,000 vaccinated people, the vaccine was more than 91% effective against COVID-19 and more than 95% against the severe disease up to 6 months after the second dose.
Today, El Paso County is hosting another drive-through first-come, first-served vaccination event. It's catered for people in Fabens, Clint, San Elizario, and Socorro. KTSM 9 News reporter Carla Draxler is live from the site in Fabens this morning. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Susie. Well, here behind me, you can see about a dozen cars already lining up for the event that starts today at 9 a.m. Now, the El Paso County Emergency District 2 will be actually administering 1,500 vaccines of Pfizer this morning. And now the El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego tells us that the El Paso County has been a role model in vaccine distribution in the state. So far, over 80% of population of 65 and over has been vaccinated in the county. Judge Samaniego says providing these vaccination events helps allocate the vaccines in more harder to reach areas like Fabens with more vulnerable populations. He says there are over 200,000 people on the waiting list for the vaccine right now, but he's expecting more drive-through events in the near future.
The more we showed our capacity to do these things, the more allocation we would get. And as I've said before, we have the highest allocation of any county in the 254 counties in Texas. We have the highest level of allocation based on population.
Judge Samaniego advises people to come to the event throughout the morning instead of waiting in line hours before, as it will help lower waiting times and make coordination easier. And like I said, the event starts this morning at 9 a.m. Some cars are already lined up here, and the El Paso County Emergency Services District 2 will be administering about 1,500 doses of Pfizer vaccine. Reporting live in Fabens, I'm Carla Draxler. Back to you.
Thank you, Carla. Texas is planning to distribute about 700,000 vaccine doses next week. The state says most of the doses are Pfizer and Moderna. Now remember, the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are still on pause. The state says that more than a quarter of eligible Texans are fully vaccinated against COVID, and 43% of eligible Texans have at least 1 dose.
If you've been hanging back and waiting for vaccine availability to increase, now is the time to look at where you can get vaccinated close to you.
Now, state researchers saying getting vaccinated will not only help decrease your chance of getting infected, but will also slow the spread of new mutations. And in New Mexico, Mayfield High School will voluntarily switch to remote learning for the next 2 weeks after allegations of a secret prom taking place over the weekend, possibly exposing hundreds of students to COVID-19.
According to the Las Cruces Public School District, remote learning starts today and will last until April the 26th. The district says it was notified Wednesday that a complaint was filed with the governor's office alleging the prom happened last Saturday. LCPS says the gathering was not sanctioned by the school or the district. The complaint suggested students engaged in behavior that potentially threatened health and safety. LCPS released a statement in part saying high school administrators will work in conjunction with the district's central office to conduct an investigation into the initial allegation, including possible implications that students from other high schools may have been in attendance at this event or organized similar events.
It is 6:04 and taking a look at the weather right now. Selena, I'm ready to get out there this weekend and have a good time, but let me know, is the weather going to be a little breezy? Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be nice and sunny? It is the borderland. Tell me what's going on.
You're right, it is the borderland, so things are always changing. But you know what? If you do plan on spending any time outdoors today, or at least this weekend, it's not looking the best. We are expecting a backdoor cold front to knock us down temperature-wise and bring up those wind speeds. But let's go ahead and take a look at things right now. 54 degrees in Las Cruces, 61 in El Paso, 43 in Ruidoso, 42 in Cloudcroft. As for what we're seeing when it comes to what we can expect, at least, or what we have been seeing, is a lot of temperatures really rising up, right? And we're going to continue to see that at least for the rest of today. Our satellite showing that we're seeing some clouds pass by, so partly cloudy conditions are continuing for today. Again, 61 degrees El Paso. No wind strong enough at the moment. That's some good news for us. 54 degrees Las Cruces, 5-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Things much calmer than they have been the last few days, at least when it comes to those winds. As for today, they're going to continue to stay calm. Again, temperatures across the area. Waking up this morning, slightly chilly up near Ruidoso, Cloudcroft, and Deming. Las Cruces staying in the 50s. We're going to continue to warm up into today. 64 degrees by your 9 a.m. hour, 67 come 10 o'clock. But we're continuing to see the effects of a backdoor cold front, and that's going to knock us down temperature-wise today into your Saturday and even your Sunday. I'll have more details on that coming up in your full forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic right now through your traffic cameras. This is what we're seeing on US 54 and Montana. You can see traffic starting to hit the roads, but nothing seems to be backed up at the moment, so drivers can expect a smooth drive in that area, as well as I-10 and Brown. Everything seems to be running smoothly.
Your Ways Traffic Check, sponsored by Lachine Bias and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
El Paso, it's looking really good out there on the roads right now, especially going from Trans Mountain to downtown. About a 13-minute drive. If you're going from Red to downtown, that's going to be an 11-minute commute. And Loop 375 to downtown is only going to take you 14 minutes getting to your destination. It is 6:06. Coming up, major news out of NCAA Division I Council and how this will affect student athletes.
Then UTEP men's basketball head coach Joe Golding getting settled into the borderland. That in sports with Andy Morgan. Stay with KTSM 9 News today.
You're watching KTSM 9 News Today with Susie Castillo, Jay Russell, and forecaster Selena Quintana.